President Trump has been accused of racism so often that it's difficult to remember that it's never actually been proven that Donald Trump is a racist. The definition of racism, according to Merriam-Webster, is that race is a primary determinant of human traits and capacities that produce an inherent superiority of a particular race. Now, science tells us that the skin colors and ethnicities of humanity are superficial. We're all one species. My ethnic group is American. This is something that most people readily go along with. Where did the notion that Donald Trump is a racist first originate? Well, first of all, let's go back to Donald Trump's life before he became a politician. Donald Trump was a real estate magnate in New York City and other areas, such as New Jersey. He would buy dilapidated, rundown structures, improve them, and then sell them at a profit. This is how he became a self-made billionaire. And if you actually check his personal history, he started his professional life when he was 19 years old. His father gave him a loan of $1 million. Many people have attacked Donald Trump over being born rich. But what they failed to notice is that if most any of us were given a $1 million loan at the age of 19, well, we would have taken that $1 million and bought a yacht, bought a fancy car, nice clothes. The money would have been spent. 19-year-old Donald Trump took that $1 million, invested it, turned it around into a profit. When he had made $2 million, he repaid his father the $1 million, and from then on, he was his own man. During his very long career as a public figure, Donald Trump has built his brand. He has had thousands upon thousands of African American employees, Native American employees, Latino employees, and female employees. And yet in all that time, Donald Trump has never been seriously accused of being a racist, of having racist policies at any of his businesses, or of holding racist personal views. When did he first get accused of being a racist? When did Donald Trump first get accused of being a racist? It was when he questioned whether President Barack Obama had a legal birth certificate. The Obama administration actually released an official birth certificate from the state of Hawaii to confirm that he was born in this country. This was not a story that originated with Donald Trump. People have been asking for years where Obama's birth certificate was. This was based on two different issues. One was that Obama was taken around the world by his father to various Muslim countries. At this Muslim country, for instance, young Barack Obama attended a madrasa in Indonesia. This is one of the more interesting things about questioning whether Barack Obama was born in this country, and it was provided by Barack Obama himself as a pamphlet. In this pamphlet, Barack Obama was the first African American president of the Harvard Law Review. In order to buttress his credentials, Barack Obama did something, apparently, which was common in academia, which was to lie about having a foreign birthplace in order to make him seem more authentic. In this case, Barack Obama boasted to Harvard that he was born in Kenya and raised in Indonesia and Hawaii. Barack Obama provided this information to the Harvard Law Review. No one else, and he never corrected it. Why would someone claim they were not born in the United States of America if they were born in the United States of America? So if we're going to start with racism here, Barack Obama would have to be the original racist on the charge of whether he was born in the United States of America. Donald Trump was a latecomer to this accusation. The next time that Donald Trump was accused of racism was much more serious. He was accused of this in the very speech where he announced his presidential candidacy. He was speaking specifically about how existing border law along the southern border with Mexico was not being enforced with patrols and with police funding. On the books, on the laws, we had laws calling for a southern border wall, but it was never funded. And border enforcement was not funded to a large extent. Donald Trump found this as an issue, and here was his precise quote. "Thank you, it's true, and these are the best and the finest. When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you," meaning his audience. "They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people." Now, the news media simply repeated this line and then reported as a national news story, which was simply a joke to the news media at the time. They didn't consider him a serious candidate. But they reported on a national level that Donald Trump accused all Mexicans, wherever they are, of being rapists. When this was announced by the news media, the fallout was swift. Macy's department store announced they were severing all business ties with Donald Trump because they had just been told he was a racist and he hated Mexicans. None of that was true. It was all based on a deliberate misreporting by the American news media on Trump's debut speech announcing his presidential candidacy. But I speak to border guards and they tell us what we're getting, and it only makes common sense. It only makes common sense. They're sending us not the right people. Now, that's obviously true. If you are a person with a master's degree, if you have marketable job skills, you will attempt to enter the United States of America in a legal manner. You would not try to sneak across the border, climbing a fence, or swimming across the Rio Grande River. So what President Trump said here does not match the definition of racism. It matches the fact that any country that does not enforce its border is not a country. And as we've seen with the coronavirus outbreak, not enforcing your border can be lethal to a population. The next time Donald Trump was accused of being a racist was when he was president. He was officiating at a Native American ceremony for Native Americans that had served in World War II in particular. And he made a joke about presidential candidate Elizabeth Warren. She's no longer a presidential candidate because she foolishly went and got a DNA test to prove that she was Native American. And it showed that, in fact, that she had so little Native American DNA in her body that her claim was always specious. And in fact, here she apologized to the Cherokee Nation. But back in 2017, it was wonderful fun for the news media because they had already declared Trump was a racist. They make several lies. They claim that Trump had a derogatory nickname for Senator Elizabeth Warren as Pocahontas. Once again, this was something that she was jokingly referred to many years before Donald Trump came along. He simply repeated the nickname. The Navajo code talkers that he had the ceremony with were not offended because they knew she was not a Native American in any shape, manner, or form. But the news media tried to make this as some sort of crime against humanity. Look at how the reporter writes this. An evil portrait of President Andrew Jackson, known for his forceful removal of Native Americans from their ancestral lands. So if we look at the unemployment rate of African Americans in 2019, before the coronavirus outbreak, they were experiencing a wonderful economic boom thanks to the policies of President Donald Trump. Here we see that the unemployment rate for African Americans had dropped from 2016 of 8.4% to 6.1% as of last year. That does not seem to be the policy of a racist president. President Donald Trump, as president, has represented all Americans. The attempts by the news media to paint him as a racist might work, and most people simply accept the premise. But for those of us with long memories, we remember when we were told that Republican Mitt Romney was a racist in 2012. No basis. It was simply because he was running against Barack Obama. We were told John McCain was a racist in 2008 because he was running against Barack Obama. We were told George W. Bush was a racist in 2000 because even though he was running against a white Democrat, Al Gore, he was still racist. And his father was labeled as racist. And when I was much younger, Ronald Reagan was labeled as a racist. In fact, they made a movie a few years ago called The Butler, about a butler who had been in the White House for many administrations. And in the book, there's no reference to Ronald Reagan being a racist. But in the Hollywood screenplay that made it to screen, Ronald Reagan is portrayed by the actor as hating black people. And the staff at the White House all came out and said, no, this is not true. A scene like this never happened. Reality does not matter. When Hollywood writers who support the Democratic Party assume anyone who's not a Democrat is racist, that's the only news that matters. So if we move along here, there was a photo that was released and spread on social media about President Trump's dire racism, where children were separated from their families at the Mexican border in Trump's evil detention center. And every person in Hollywood expressed their outrage. Every Democrat expressed their outrage. And then someone went and checked the date of the photo. Oh no, this photo was dated 2015, which meant this was an Obama illegal immigrant detention facility. Oh no. So another charge of racism bites the dust. But reality doesn't matter. All that matters is helping the Democratic Party. And that's why the news media continually lies about the news in order to fit their agenda. Now here in a confidential meeting with senators, a number of them Democrats, the Democrats claimed that Donald Trump referred to Haiti and African nations as shithole countries. Donald Trump denied this. Let's take a look at the capital of Haiti. Oh my. This is Port-au-Prince, the capital of Haiti. Doesn't seem to be much sanitation efforts going on there, does it? So if you're a rich Hollywood celebrity, such as Steve Harvey or Beyonce's husband, and you accuse Donald Trump of racism, if assuming he made this comment that Haiti is a shithole, gosh, when are these rich Hollywood celebrities who called Trump a racist going to be building a mansion in Haiti anytime soon? It's been several years now, and we see no mansion for Steve Harvey or Beyonce's husband in Haiti. I wonder why they don't want to live there. It must be a complete coincidence. We'll leave you with a final statement of racism from Joe Biden, who adopts a phony, fake African-American accent that he believes Republicans want to put y'all back in chains. Let's listen to Joe Biden.
Pouncing on comments made by Vice President Joe Biden. Biden was criticizing Mitt Romney's promise to loosen the new regulations on the big banks and Wall Street, but it was how Biden said it.
He's going to let the big banks once again write their own rules. Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
Romney quickly taking aim at that Biden moment.
My. One might almost think that Joe Biden fits this definition. Speaking down to a room full of African Americans, how if you don't vote for him, you're going to be put back in the chains of slavery. Fortunately, the Joe Biden of 2020 is not the same Joe Biden of 2012. Or is he? Thank you.